Welcome to part 4 of reading and analyzing Ishmael by Daniel Quinn. In this video, I want to talk about the law of limited competition. In the last video, we talked about the laws of nature that humans have been ignoring, where to find the laws, and how our ignorance has impacted the planet. This video is going to talk about what the law specifically is and how humans specifically go against it. If you want to better understand this video, you should first watch the other videos I made about Ishmael. So let's get started. In Part 8, Section 1, Ishmael's student says of takers, first they exterminate their competitors, which is something that never happens in the wild. In the wild, animals will defend their territories and their kills, and they will invade their competitors' territories and preempt their kills. Some species even include competitors among their prey, but they never hunt competitors down just to make them dead. What they hunt, they eat. Then Ishmael replies, animals will kill in self-defense or even when they merely feel threatened. So basically, humans hunt down their competitors, animals don't. It's interesting to me because we know we do this, but nobody really sees a problem with it. I think we just see it as our right to hunt animals for sport, but it goes against the law of nature. Animals aren't supposed to hunt each other the way we do, because if they did, then there would be no competitors. There would simply be one species at each level of competition, the strongest. In other words, it's okay to compete with other animals, but you have to compete fairly. You can't kill your competitors just to make sure you have no competitors. That's what the law of limited competition is about. And it's funny, because we love to talk about competition. It's basically what's used to justify poverty and our dominance over the earth. We love to say that competition is the reason why some people are rich while others aren't. And competition is the reason why humans are at the top of the food chain and are building their habitats in ways that are harmful to the planet. Nobody ever talks about the law of limited competition, that animals will never compete in a way that isn't fair to other animals. Any that do go extinct. To acknowledge the law of limited competition would be to acknowledge that our philosophy that life is all about competition and nothing more is total bullshit. That there is a fair way and an unfair way to compete, and that humans have been competing unfairly, and that way is wrong, not right. We don't have a right to compete with other species unfairly just because we're humans. We have to compete fairly just like any other animal. Any animal that doesn't follow the law will go extinct, and like it or not, we are animals. We are not animals just because we're smart, despite what we believe. If we don't follow the law of limited competition, we will go extinct, which is what's happening now. Hunting down animals, for no other reason than to make them dead, is going against the law of limited competition. Sorry, hunters, I know you love your rights, but you think maybe you can put them aside so that our species doesn't go extinct? It's not a demand, it's just a suggestion. Moving on, Ishmael's student says, takers systematically destroy their competitors' food to make room for their own. Nothing like this occurs in the natural community. The rule there is, take what you need, leave the rest alone. This too is going against the law of limited competition. It wouldn't be so bad if we didn't do this everywhere, but we believe that the whole planet belongs to us, so we do. Then Ishmael's student says, the takers deny their competitors access to food. In the wild, the rule is, you may deny your competitors access to what you're eating, but you may not deny them access to food in general. In other words, you can say, this gazelle is mine, but you can't say, all the gazelles are mine. Then Ishmael says, but suppose you raised up a herd of your own, from scratch, so to speak. Could you defend that herd as your own? And his student says, I suppose so long as it wasn't your policy that all herds in the world were your own. And what about denying competitors access to what you're growing? Again, our policy is, every square foot of this planet belongs to us, so if we put it all under cultivation, then all our competitors are just plain out of luck and will have to become extinct. Our policy is to deny competitors access to all the food in the world, and that's something no other species does. So it's saying that it's not inherently against the law to claim a herd or a plot of land as your own. It is against the law to claim all herds and all plots of land as your own, as civilized people are doing. It's basically saying that our civilized way of living isn't necessarily wrong, it just needs to stay contained. The way we keep our lifestyle unchecked is what's causing our extinction. In Part 8, Section 2, Ishmael officially describes the law of limited competition as, "You may compete to the full extent of your capabilities, but you may not hunt down your competitors or destroy their food or deny them access to food. In other words, you may compete, but you may not wage war." Am I the only one that finds this amazing? It's pretty much everything we've been looking for, right? We want to know how to stop destroying the planet and save ourselves from extinction, and Daniel Quinn has pretty much given us the answer. We have to stop believing that we're exempt from the law of limited competition and stop believing that the planet was made for us. All the answers are straight up given to us in this book, so I wonder, why isn't this book more popular? Why aren't copies of this book flying off the shelves? Why are we forced to read The Scarlet Letter in high school but not this? This book has way more significance in today's society than the dumbass Scarlet Letter or the dumbass Great Gatsby. You're telling me those books have political significance, but not this? A book that's literally about how to save ourselves from extinction, the biggest problem facing humanity right now? This is what should be taught to children, not the goddamn quadratic equation. But I guess maybe humanity just isn't ready to have Mother Culture die just yet. Maybe it'll be like Moby Dick, where that book only became popular years after Herman Melville's death. Maybe climate change has to fuck us in the ass a little harder until Ishmael starts to become relevant to people, I don't know. But it's just weird because to me it seems like the most important book maybe ever written in modern human history. I mean, it's literally about our extinction, but whatever. Ishmael says, so the law promotes what? And his student answers, diversity. If the law had not been followed invariably by all species since the beginning of time, the community of life would only consist of a few hundred species. Ishmael says, diversity is a survival factor for the community itself. A community of 100 million species can survive anything short of global catastrophe. Within that 100 million will be thousands that could survive a global temperature drop of 20 degrees, which would be a lot more devastating than it sounds. Within that 100 million will be thousands that could survive a global rise of 20 degrees, but a community of 100 species or 1,000 species has no survival value at all. Diversity is exactly what's under attack here. Every day, dozens of species go extinct as a direct result of the way takers compete outside the law. This basically destroys our perception that other species just aren't important to us. There's no possible way we're going to survive climate change with only 1 million species left on the planet. But that's quickly becoming the number of species that'll be left if we keep on systematically destroying their habitats and food. If we continue to stamp out other species as we've been doing, then our survival value goes down. So when people say, what's the point of diversity? These other species don't do anything for us. Tell them that they raise up our survival value from devastating climate change. All species depend on each other, whether we like it or not. And we depend on the community of life to live, so going directly against the law that keeps the community of life in order will not work out for us one bit. So that's where I'm going to end this video off for today. In reading/dissecting Ishmael Part 5, I'm going to talk about food production and overpopulation. I want to see how these things connect and why overpopulation is bad for the planet. I know a lot of people think overpopulation isn't real, but hopefully you'll at least listen to what I have to say on it. Or rather, what Daniel Quinn has to say on it. Feel free to like and subscribe, and please comment. I really want to know how people feel about this kind of stuff. So, yep, I'm done for now.